Hi students, welcome to Understanding the Fieldwork Assignment presentation. This short presentation will help you know what to do to make sure you get a good grade on this very important assignment in the course. The first thing you need to know is that everything I'm going to show you is once again in the assignments folder on the course materials homepage. So first thing you'll need to do is to click on that folder. At the bottom, the last assignments, because the assignments in that folder are listed in order, at the bottom you'll see the folder for the fieldwork paper. Go ahead and open that folder up. Once you open that folder up, you'll see several things. First, you'll see the set of instructions that I'm going to be going over in the grading rubric. The second item is the link where you submit your completed fieldwork paper. And then at the bottom of the page is just a reminder to also submit your 2 logs and paper to task stream. You're looking at the first page of the instructions for the assignment. As you can see, it's worth a quarter of your grade, 25%, and it's due August 4th. To relate educational topics to practice, you will view a set of educational videos that run approximately 6 hours. You'll spend the remainder of the 10 hours planning, organizing, and writing your paper. So in this course, at least, you only have to observe 6 hours because I'm assuming it's going to require 4 hours for you to organize and write your paper. Obviously, you can't go into classrooms this semester, so that we are providing a set of videos, which I'll talk about in a minute. Per state requirements, this must be a separate observation from any that you use from other courses. So you can't watch the videos and use them for my course and for another course. You can't duplicate portions or all of the papers for different courses. The state requires separate fieldwork observations for each course. A list of the videos you should use is located at the end of this document. If you wish to view other videos, please send the links to me. So how do you know which videos to use? So let's go through and see where you lie in these cases. If you are already in the School of Education, enrolled only in the Early Childhood program, you're going to watch all the early childhood videos. These are organized by certification level. If you're already in the School of Education, enrolled in the childhood program, you're only going to watch the childhood videos. If you're already in the School of Education, enrolled in adolescent education, you're going to view the adolescent education videos. If you're already in the School of Education, enrolled in the Students with Disabilities or Special Ed program, you're going to view all of the Students with Disabilities videos. If you're in a dual or tri-cert program, so for example, suppose you're in early childhood, and students with disabilities, you may mix and match videos from any of those areas. Just make sure that the total adds to about 6 hours. If you have not matriculated into the School of Education, perhaps you're still an undergraduate in the School of Liberal Arts, you may select the area that most interests you. If you have a question about which videos to be watching, please email me. A note, you're going to put these papers through Safe Assign, which will check whether the paper or a portion of the paper has been submitted to Blackboard before. Safe Assign also checks internet sources. And if it's discovered that you have plagiarized or used the same observation to write 2 or more papers, if you have duplicated portions of your papers, the fieldwork may receive a 0, or you may be asked to rewrite your paper. So how do you go about this assignment? First, you're going to preview the outline and rubric for this assignment, and we're going to go over that in a minute. The reason I ask you to preview it is you can be watching the videos and thinking about what you're seeing and how it's going to fit into your paper. Then you're going to watch the appropriate videos and take notes. I've provided a form that you have to fill out anyway, so you might want to just document the context of each video. and you're going to have to turn it in anyway with the context documented. So as you're watching those videos, you can take notes using the form. After you watch the videos, organize and write your paper. It should be 4 to 7 pages, double spaced. If it comes in a little under, a little over, I'm not going to be upset. Use the notes from the video that you took while watching the videos to assist you. Your paper must have a minimum of 3 citations, which may be from your textbook or from other sources. It's okay if they're all from the same source. I'm just looking for 3 citations. You should have a matching reference for each citation in the references section. If you're unsure about what I mean by that, go and look through the APA materials on the website, on the course site, or email me your specific question. After you write your paper, be sure to proof it. The fourth thing you're going to do is submit your paper, and this is a little complicated. You need to submit your paper in 2 places, Blackboard and to TaskStream, because we consider this what's called a key assessment in your program. So I have to be able to go in and evaluate it on TaskStream as well as Blackboard. There is a whole TaskStream folder on the course materials homepage that tells you how to set up an account or use your account and how to submit to a DRF program. If you have trouble understanding it or you can't make it work, please email our TaskStream coordinator, Harriet Liu, and her email address is provided. She gets right back to you. She's very helpful. Submitting to TaskStream is a part of your grade, so your grade will go down if you do not submit this to TaskStream. Also, you're going to need to submit your summary of fieldwork form on Blackboard. We'll see that in a minute, along with your paper, and complete 2 fieldwork logs on TaskStream. Most of you are used to submitting to TaskStream. If you're not, again, Harriet is an excellent resource. So this is the summary of fieldwork videos form. I'm sorry, this is the list of fieldwork videos for early childhood. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I wanted to go over what they look like. You have the level, you have the title, you have the link that you can click and watch it, and you have the time. Once again, if you're certifying in one area, I expect you to watch all of the videos in that area because that comes up to approximately 6 hours. This is a summary of fieldwork observations form that I referenced before. As you watch your videos, you're going to fill this form out and you're going to submit it at the end along with your paper to Blackboard. The first thing you're going to do is to check the area of certification for the videos you're watching. Remember the criteria I discussed earlier. So if you're purely an early childhood major, you're going to check early childhood. If you're purely a childhood major, you'll check that. Adolescents, same. Students with disabilities, same. If you are for some reason watching a mix of videos, it should be because you're in a program with multiple certifications or you have not yet matriculated into the School of Education. So after you check your area, you're going to watch the first video title, type it in, watch the video, take notes on the context. So what should you be describing in the context? The approximate grade level, the number of students you could see in the classroom, and something about the organization and appearance of the classroom. So for example, you might write desks in rows, colorful bulletin boards, teacher's desk visible, or desk gathered in horseshoe, whatever you can note about whether it's cluttered or uncluttered, etc. The final column is for you to use. This column should expand as you type, so feel free to type notes in here. It should at least have some description so that you can keep track of your thoughts. At the end, you're going to save oh, by the way, you can add additional rows to the table if you need it. And at the end, you're going to save this form and you're going to submit it along with your paper, either as part of your paper, for example, an appendix at the end, or as a separate document with your paper. This form does not have to go into TaskStream, but it may if it's part of your paper. Here is the outline for your paper. I'd like to see an introduction. I'd like to see a discussion of your 3 favorite videos. Which ones were your favorite and why? Then for those 3 favorite videos, you're going to discuss the following topics. What did you see about the student-teacher relationships? Did it look like they have a good rapport? Did the students respond well? Why or why not? Did they appear to respect the teacher? Of course, we're not there and you don't actually get to talk to the teacher, but you can infer a lot from observation. What did it look like about student engagement? Were the students engaged? Were they raising their hands, calling out, or showing other signs of enthusiasm? Or did they appear bored, underwhelmed, overwhelmed? You can have a favorite video in which the students appeared bored, not because you liked the way the teacher was conducting it, but it told you something about what not to do. So favorite videos can be things you really liked you saw or things that, hey, I'm never going to do that, but this is an important thing for me to watch. Classroom management procedures and discipline. So did you notice the teacher doing things that kept the class under control? Perhaps it was a way he or she had of passing papers or allowing students to get out of their seats, or maybe rewards for good behavior. Anything you saw that you believe helped the teacher maintain discipline. Diversity. Was there any evidence that the teacher supported the needs of diverse learners? For example, students doing different work, providing student aids, anything that you could tell in terms of students getting some special support. Effectiveness of the lesson. How effective do you believe the lesson to be overall? If effective, what made it reflective? If ineffective, what made it ineffective? This section is where you will likely insert your 3 or more citations. Make sure they're meaningful and are used to support your ideas. And actually, not just an effectiveness of the lesson, but citations could be in any of this analysis section. A reflection is not a conclusion. A reflection is, what did you learn? What did you like? What didn't you like? What surprised you? What will you take forward into your classroom? So you might say, I really like this experience because, and here are some things I learned from it, and going forward, I will remember this in my classroom. A conclusion, which is what you'll write next, is, in summary, I observed these videos and yada, 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 but it's not a reflection. There are 2 different sections. And finally, your references. If you have 3 citations and they all come from the textbook, you can just reference your textbook. I'm sorry, not textbook. We don't have a textbook. You can if they all come from one internet source, you can reference an internet source. Or if you have 2, you would put 2 references there. But at any rate, I expect to see a reference section with appropriately formatted APA references. You can look at the rubric. This is part of the rubric. It's not all of it, but you can see how you'll be graded on this assignment. I always suggest to students that they review the rubric prior to starting to write their paper. Have the rubric there as you're writing your paper so you can refer back to it to make sure that you're covering all the areas. And you could even try to score it afterwards. This is back in the assignments folder, back in the Fieldwork paper folder. And so you've written your paper, you've proofed it, you've done your forms. The second link there is where you submit the paper itself, as well as the summary of fieldwork hours that we talked about. So, and then the little reminder that you also need to submit your 2 fieldwork logs and paper to TaskStream. The fieldwork logs and TaskStream are the ones you've been doing each semester. They're not the form that you're submitting to Blackboard. This assignment may not be revised and resubmitted or submitted late due to when it occurs in the semester. I did want to talk to you about it early in the semester so you could get started watching the videos. You can submit it early, but you can't submit it late. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me.